as you can tell, I am in the kitchen. First of all, welcome here, Sabi gang. Thank you so much, notification gang. Your hugs are coming through. I see you guys and I appreciate you. I'm in the kitchen, of course, and it's about 7:15, 7:20, and I'm actually already done doing dinner. We usually eat at around 8. So today I've done some white rice, though there's a little bit of pilau masala in there, just for some flavor, and bean stew. Now we are trying to break out of a red meat addiction that we have going on. So my mom and I are trying to introduce legumes into our meals. So peas, beans, ndengu, all that. So I wanted to make the beans myself because I have a recipe idea that I thought they'd love. You know, when you're trying to introduce foods that people are not so used to, you want to make it so good so that they know that it can actually work. So yeah, and lastly, there's some cabbage which I have just steamed with a little bit of courgette. Yeah, so I'm gonna serve this up in hot pots on Monday. As of now, it's Thursday 7:20 p.m. On Monday I was shooting my new music video and I shot a little something for the vlog, so check it out. So guys, I'm just like feeling so pretty right now, and then hi Favor. Hi. And then I'm just like so excited because I'm shooting my video today. It's been such a long journey before I got to plan this video, so I'm glad this day is here finally and I get to shoot. So I'm totally looking forward to that. I'll do a little bit of a BTS for you guys, but for now, see you guys. I don't really know what this vlog is about, so I'll just figure it out. It's Monday, 21st October. Let's see what the rest of this vlog is gonna look like, but I am just excited and I'm so happy. God is good, ain't he? Ain't God good? He's been good to us one day, so okay, I look good. Oh, delish. Look at that girl. Oh my god. Okay, I could just sit here staring at myself, but I have to go. Bye. I am in my room now to freshen up, but before I do, I have some stories to tell you. As you can tell, it's been a good week. It started well. It's been Tuesday is usually a very busy day for me at school, and Thursday as well. Wednesday, what was I doing on Wednesday? I don't even remember, but I know I was all over the place. And the rest of the weekend, this is gonna be quite a weekend for me, so I figured this would be the best day to just chit chat with you guys. Hey, so now sometime this week, I think on Monday, those who know me very well know just how much I love shoes. I would post shoes on my social media every day. It's only that in this time and age where, you know, social media is such a big avenue for adverts and everything, you just want to lay low because you haven't been paid to keep pushing people's brands here. So but if, oh goodness, I totally would, because I remember, actually this is exactly what happened, and it happened before many times. I was scrolling through my Instagram and I follow a couple of guys, I've been on a shrubbing spree for like the whole week. I follow a couple of shoe brands, online brands. Yani mpaka hata nime lose sight ya kuongea. And so let me just put my feet that support my hand as I hold this. I scroll through, every time I scroll through backyard shoes, I feel like becoming a burglar for a day and just raiding that store, you know. So I scroll through backyard, and then I started to think about how there are particular times I have thought of drafting a proposal and sending to them, and I have never done it. Every time I'm about to do it, I'm just like, nah. And then, you know, these moments you have with yourself where you just have like honest conversation, you ask yourself questions and answer them yourself. I had one such moment when I asked myself, Sasa, why haven't I ever done it? And the answer that myself gave myself is that it's because you're afraid to be rejected. You're afraid they'll say no. You're afraid they won't accept your proposal, consider it. And that's the very truth. And I was like, boy, that's quite a truth. And I remember last week I was talking about challenges of an artist or celebrity. And part of them is just like everybody else, is we face a lot of rejection. I have faced so much rejection than you would imagine. Classic examples would be recently I was on one of the it's actually one of the biggest shows in the country. I was on Churchill's show, and interestingly enough, they called me. I was called by Churchill's show to come on the show, and I'm saying this in all humility because there's a time I wanted to go on there, and I had people who could help me get there, but I just didn't really get through that door, and there are very many others which up to now I haven't gotten through. I didn't get through that door, and it's really just part of the journey because once you're not known to there's something I always go by sometimes. I'm like, if I approach this brand and they don't know who I am, I need to work harder. But there's a particular point that I want to reach, that when I approach this brand, they don't even, they already know who I am, so it's just a question of, is she in or not, or I don't even have to approach them, they approach me. So I always say that, if they don't know me yet, if they don't recognize my music, what I'm doing, all that, I need to work harder, and that's okay. So I've always gone by that policy. It helps me to not take things to heart or just feel so entitled. And that was about more than a year ago. And now, actually, it was like 2 years ago when my album was out. And now they called me. When I was doing my concert in 2016, I knocked doors. I had drafted a beautiful proposal with the help of a friend, and I knocked doors to try and get sponsorship for my gig. I got nada, zero, zilch, none of them. And some were kind enough to just keep sustaining the conversation, even though they knew that the answer in the end was a no. But for some it was just an outright no, and for many it was just complete ignoring. Like they didn't even see your email. And I believe that I'll get to a place in my journey where I just draft the proposal, have a good idea, and I'm in a place where the brand can trust me to work with me because of where I have reached in my career. So rejection is actually more an everyday thing than we think about it. It's not just about the big doors that you have tried to knock. It's even in the daily little things. Actually, I remembered I was talking to a good friend of mine yesterday, actually, and he was telling me how one of the biggest fears men have is to be rejected by a woman that they pursue. So as I was thinking about rejection and the stories of rejection of my own, I just thought this is actually something that everybody faces in one way or another, and I just wanted to share my 2 cents on how I deal with it, how I see rejection, how I deal with it, and all that. And I'm going to use another example. So there's this media company which have a newspaper also, and there's one time a friend of mine used to work as a, what do you call the people who write the stuff, because that's not an editor, but he had a column, he had a page. He used to do features and everything, so he knew me from way back before I could sing. So he hollered at me and he was like, come we do this interview. So I go to their offices. By then I was, oh gosh, I was such a little girl. I went and we sat down there. Everybody's looking at me like, who are you? But We sat down there, he asked me questions, we talked, and he had a lot of content to write about me, sent in photos, all that, and the article was ready for publishing, but it always has to get through the editor. So when he gives it to the editor is like, now all this I'm telling you, I didn't know then. Later, when they finally had me on that same page, that same column, is when he was telling me the story. So the editor said, who's this? When she gets to even 400 followers on Twitter, or when she gets to even 4,000 followers on Twitter, then we can talk. So yeah, that's how my Nini was trashed. Like, we don't know her, who's she? And this year, actually, they called me. I got an email and a call, and I did the interview. I responded to the questions on email, and I had the full page out in a couple of weeks. And then this guy calls me. He no longer works there, and he's like, Laura, this is the page I was trying to get you on the other time. I was like, really? How did you get there? I'm like, they called me. He's like, wow, Laura, this is amazing. Let's just thank God you've come a long way and you're going even to higher places, because I felt so bad. I didn't know how to express to you that the whole article was rejected. I didn't know how to, because I don't remember what he told me. I didn't even really follow up much on it. So he kind of told me something to just slide it off, that it didn't really work. But I wasn't so, I'm somewhere between the borderline of aggressive and allowing things to just happen in their time. So I kind of just let it go completely, and I even forgot about it. So he was telling me, and I was like, oh wow, I even forgot about it. That wasn't in my mind. And it just got me to see, hey, and yeah, some things, it's a matter of time. So when I see how I see rejection is, I think the first thing is, don't feel entitled. And that's something like so many of us are. We feel entitled to anything and everything, not just opportunities, but even information about people. You feel like, because you follow this person, they should tell you what you want to know about them. They should, they should say what you want them to say. They should do what you want them to do, all that. But now in the case of opportunities and everything, don't feel entitled. I think everybody out here is out to get the best for their business, for their company, for their life, for their family. Everybody is, at the end of the day, life is so personal and life is so selfish. In as much as that's maybe sounds like a negative thing to say, it's the truth. Everybody is out to get the best for themselves, and so not everybody is thinking about you, unless you have something that will play a part in building what it is that they are doing. At the end of the day, it's such a small percentage of things that people do really just to help someone else. Most of the things are for, what advantage does that have for me? And that's just how life is. So don't feel entitled. Don't feel like they should know me, they should have me on that page, they should have me on that show, they should have me on that job, they should have me, they should consider me. I mean, there's so many gigs, by the way, that have happened for the past, since I've been in the industry, and sometimes I feel like, wow, they should have considered me. I feel ignored, and that's the truth, that's the reality. But again, because I don't feel entitled, it helps me to not take things to heart. These people are not out to hurt me. They're not, I'm not even in their mind. So it's not personal. It's nothing personal. So you don't have to take it to heart. The other thing that I consider when I'm thinking about rejection is, don't overthink it. In fact, expect no's. A no is an answer. Expect no's. Don't overthink it. It's kind of related to the first thing. Expect no. A no is an answer. And just because expecting no's doesn't mean lacking faith. It doesn't mean that you're lacking faith. It just means that when you get that no, it's not going to be a shock to the point of crushing you and everything. So no is an answer. This one's a big one for me, and it's to turn my rejection into inspiration and motivation. So like right now, I'm like, if I have this fear that they would reject me, then that also means that I need to work harder to the place where that fear is no longer there. Yeah, turn it into inspiration. Be optimistic. Like, life is beautiful. Be optimistic, and yeah. And lastly, on the worst case, because some rejection cases can be really heavy, if and when you need to, of course, talk to someone. It's always good. Pray, believe in God, and lean on God. God will never, ever, ever reject you. So those are my rejection stories, and I hope that you have picked out something from them. Rejection is all over. Rejection is unfortunately a part of life. It happens every day in the big and small ways. But I want you all who are my fam to just know that you can be strong, and you can be all you want to be, and you can create opportunities for others, and you don't have to say yes to everybody and everything, but but be considerate, be listen, at least listen, and all that. Don't be quick to reject, don't be quick to push out things. And all this we can only do by the help of God, because I mean, yeah, sometimes we don't even realize that we're pushing people away, or ignoring ideas that people have, or all that. So that's it for today. I'm gonna see you next week. One love. Bye bye.